All right, back in house here in App, and Coach, last week I got the opportunity to come out and watch you guys in the second half, and man, I'm telling you, that was a physical football game. And in the first half, I went to Thompson and Hewitt Trustful, and then I got here, and it's crazy. You guys had more juice in the stadium than at that game. I know that's big 7A, glitz and glamour, and this, that, and the third, but the energy level, the pads popping, and the game itself was violent. You guys got out of there with a huge region win last week versus Spring Garden, but just take us back to last week, Coach, and how that game transpired.
Well, like you said, it was really physical. Two teams that really get after it. Left a lot on the field. And it was energy. Spring Garden, any sport they go to. Like I said, I coach softball as well, and I mean, you get to a softball game when it's us in Spring Garden, the energy level is always high. It's two good programs with two great communities and fan bases that back it, and it was definitely an energy-filled stadium. And like I said, just back and forth, and ball bounced our way a few times there in the end, was able to come out 20-8 with the win, and like I said, it's definitely one of those games where you're icing down on Saturdays.
No doubt. And each one of you guys speak on that a little bit. Tough physical game. You guys got out of there with a victory. The crowd was incredible. The atmosphere was incredible. How was it playing between those white lines in a game like that?
Yes, sir. We knew going into it there was going to be a physical game. It got a little emotional at one point, but I think we were just we knew all week practicing that we had to be the more physical team if we wanted to come out of there with a win, and at the end of the day, that's what happened. We won in the trenches, and that's what got us the win.
Yeah, just like he said, we go into every game, and especially one like this, but any game in really all of 1A, but especially our region, you're going to win it being the more physical team, because everyone we play is going to be physical, and you're going to have to win it up front. And we did win it, and we knew going in we were going to have to win it that way. And, it was just high energy the whole time. That's the fun football games to play. It's back and forth, and both teams are high energy and ready to go, and the fans are getting into it, and it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we could pull it out.
He touched on it, it was an emotional game as well. You had one of your brothers go down, and one of the best football players ever from this area. But to pull that out, grit that through, I know he was happy you guys won and was probably your biggest cheerleader, but talk about that, how you guys come together after the fact and gritted one out right there.
That happened early, mid-second quarter, and honestly, we were up 7-0 at that point. We kind of died down for a little. We felt everyone was sad that we got out of hand emotionally, and we didn't play our kind of football for the rest of the first half, and they were up 8-7 at half. But especially Eli, but as leaders, we knew, he got us at halftime. We knew we had to take over. We had to lead. That he was down, we had a bigger role, and the guys, they rallied around us, and we were able to keep our composure the second half and pull away.
Yeah, after that happened, we couldn't keep our composure at all. We weren't playing how we were taught to play football. Mm-hmm. So we went in at halftime, challenged them to play how we play football. And leaders really stepped up after that at halftime and got it done.
Coach, you see the guys bring it together. You can scream and holler and do anything, break chalkboards, but ultimately, that's got to convert out on that field. It took them a little while to kick it back in gear, but when you seen them do it, how proud of you were the guys to pull it all together?
Well, that's why when we have our meeting, we meet up and pray there at the end, us Spring Garden, and then when we separate to have our conversations, that's one of the first things I told them. I said, I'm happy for the win, proud of it, but one of the things that I was the most proud of is they stepped up, leaders led. We got next man ready ball. Because, there's a chance of injury, any play, anytime anything goes on. And the way they were able to rally, keep it together, like I said, come back at halftime, because it got a little rattled, little emotions played into a lot of it there in the end of the first half. And like I said, I was told them that's the thing I was the most proud of that night, is the way they were able to rally, come back together, just kind of reset and get started again.
Let's change gears, Coach. This game coming up, last week's game was unbelievably important, but you got the win, which makes this game even more important, believe it or not, on paper, because if you win this one, you host in the playoffs. Long road trip over to Raglan. Just your mindset as you approach this week right here.
Just trying to keep the guys, I guess you say keep them grounded, but keep them up as well. Not when you beat a team like Spring Garden, it's an emotional high, but you can't look over Raglan that we're fishing to head over to, and we go back to what we've done and said each week. Remember, we got to be 1-0 this week. And, we're looking at Raglan going in. They've got 3 of the fastest guys in the region. They got a lot of team speed. And just trying to get our guys to understand we're fixing to change animals. I mean, we knew at Spring Garden they were going to throw it a little bit, but they were fixing to load it up, and they were fixing to run it down your throat. And Raglan's got a really good running back. He's not really per se the power back like we've seen this kid. You better get, when you hit, you better wrap up, hold on, and pray for help coming, because on film we've seen him. He'll get within inches of you, make a couple of spin moves, and next thing you know, he's 20 yards down the field. So we're not really looking at the smash mouth type team that we've seen last week. So kind of having to change and get readjusted for that, and just keeping them understanding, eyes on the prize, 1-0 this week.
Guys, same kind of question. What's at stake, and like Coach said, it's 1-0 mentality. It's a big football game though, and you guys got to lead by example. What's your thoughts on that?
Yes, sir. All week we've, ever since film on Monday, realized we're playing a really fast team. They've got some good athletes, and we know that if we want to get the win, though, we're going to have to be physical and play discipline. So just getting ready for that. Practice this week, having people step up, and just getting ready to play a different team that we haven't really had to play anybody with the kind of athletes that Raglan has. Right. So just trying to get ready for them.
Just like they said, like both of them said, they're fast. We know that going in, though. We're just going to have to still play our brand of football, and we're going to have to be physical up front, win that battle, and contain them when they are running. And, it's just a game we're looking forward to. Last week against Spring Garden, it was a high-energy region game. We're looking for the same kind of thing right here, Raglan's always been a big rivalry, and it's a region game again and a big region game, so we're going to be looking forward to that aspect of it. It's going to be the same. It's going to be high energy. We can't let our emotions get the best of us and just play hard.
How do you two guys dial in on a long road trip? Are you calm, cool, and collective? Are you getting the guys amped up? How do you do it?
I normally try to stay calm. If it's too long, I might take a nap on the bus ride there or something, but just play some music and just try to stay locked in, and then once it's time to kick it off, that's when you get amped up, you're ready to play.
You listen to some George Strait, right?
Yeah.
I hope so. Well, come on now.
Yeah, I usually just throw in the AirPods, maybe take a nap, listen to some music.
George Strait is also?
Yeah, sure.
Right, there we go. I like it's good guys right here, Coach. Coach, same thing for you. But then as a coach, I know you're focusing on the task at hand. You don't want the guys too high. You don't want them too low where they're dragging when they get off the bus. How do you approach it?
We kind of set the standard a few years ago. We always tell the guys, right before we go, we always tell them, hey, remember how we travel. You get on the bus, collect your thoughts. You do you. Very little talking. Was going up there focused. And for me, it helps the fact that I also drive the bus, so I can get up there and I'm in my own spot. Like I said, just driving along, thinking about all the scenarios that could come up, that happen, and like I said, just focus on the fact of taking care of business when you get there.
That keeps you dialed in too, driving. Keeps your mind moving. That's good. Coach, before I shut it down, I always like to kick it back to you just for final thoughts. Could be anything.
Like I said, just after losing, Braden for the rest of the year, it's one of those things where, like you say, he's a generational type athlete. And we challenged these guys, our leaders, like I said, especially these two, said, hey, shoes to fill. Which, not that these guys wasn't great leaders anyway, but Braden was just kind of that guy that even the leaders looked up to. And we've challenged these guys this week and said, hey, you got to take what you normally do, plus you got to put his on your shoulders too.
Right.
Your load just got heavier, and they've really stepped up. And because we kind of had the defensive guy that kind of leads that part, and Braden's kind of offensive guy. And Eli kind of had all the linemen, and so they're great leaders team wide, but they each had their group that they kind of
spearheaded. And
these two's done a great job, stepping up and just taking on the weight of a brother that's not there at the moment, and that's been great to see as a coach that you have leadership and the kind of young men that we have here that. It's not a, well, crap, I got to do more. It's a, hey, hand it to me. I got it. Y'all jump on it. Let's go. Yeah. They're not the type of guys that walk out and demand you do this. They're the type of guys that step out and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Y'all go with me.
Yeah, follow me. Let's do it. Get me fired up over here, Coach. Well, you guys continue listening to George Strait. And good choice there. And, Coach, good luck to you on the road trip. And you guys go down there and take your business. And we'll see you back here next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.